This is a formal complaint interview. Javier, please state the name of the police department and then tell me what happened.
Well, that was the Tracy Police Department, and the reason that I called it was last Tuesday, and I believe that was in July, I don't know, I think 27, 26.
Mm-hmm.
Approximately about 9:30, I was in a parking lot in a shopping center in Tracy, California, and I was waiting for a car to get out of the parking lot, and then I just felt that my car was hit on the back of the car. So I got out of the car, and I find this lady driving a white car, and I asked her if she was okay. She said that she was okay, and then I said, she made a comment that nothing was wrong with the car, and I said, well, guess you hit my car. And then she called 911, and then I asked her for her information about the insurance driver license. She requested mine, and I told her that she was the one that hit me, that I just need her information, that I was running late for work. And I waited for about 25 minutes when she said that her husband was a police officer, that she was waiting for him. I waited for about 25 minutes. She never showed. So I told the lady that I cannot take off and have her license plate, so she can take mine, and then the insurance will deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
About 2 blocks after I took off from the shopping center, pickup truck go right next to me with an officer inside, and he started yelling and screaming, pull over, pull over. At this time, I got concerned about my safety because it wasn't an official vehicle. So I pulled over and I called 911. And I requested to have an officer on the scene because I was getting pulled over by an officer that wasn't in an official vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Then after this, the guy jumped out of his truck. He was wearing his uniform. He started asking me for my driver's license. He started asking me for all my insurance. And I told him that I didn't need to answer any questions to him.
Mm-hmm.
He stated that he was a police officer, and I said, well, I'm sorry, but you're not in an official vehicle. That I called the cops, and he stated that he was a cop, and I said, well, I need to have a cop over there so that I can make my statement. After this, Tracy PD showed up, and I believe that they knew each other because they're saying hi to each other. Before the Tracy PD came over, when he was asking me for my driver's license and my insurance, and I denied giving that information, he asked me about if I was a citizen of the United States, which I think that it was thoroughly wrong for society to ask for it, and the way that he handled himself, being a police officer.
He asked you, before the other police officers showed up, he asked you if you were a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I told him that I didn't have to answer any questions at that point. That I was kind of wait for the police department. By the time that the police department showed up, by this time he already, because I told him that he wasn't a cop, and then he told me that he was a cop off duty. And then he proceeded to take his shirt, his uniform shirt, because I was asking for her badge number.
Mm-hmm.
He took his shirt out and put it in his truck. By this time, the Tracy PD showed up. They started asking me for my insurance, what happened. They got all my information, and the funny part is that after everything was done, I believe that the reflection from the Tracy PD was there for us to exchange information about the insurance.
Mm-hmm.
I never got their insurance information, but they got all my information.
So they never took her information down?
No, I never get her information down, but they took mine.
Okay. And let's go back to the accident. You said you were parked in the parking lot, and she was backing out of a parking stall?
No, I wasn't parked. I was making a turn, in a shopping center.
Mm-hmm.
I was making a turn to get into the parking lot,
Uh-huh.
and then a car was getting out of the parking lot. So I stopped for the car to get out of the parking lot, and then she was parking in another part of the parking lot, and she was backing out, but she didn't stop my car.
Mm-hmm.
So she hit me while I was waiting for the other car to get out of the parking lot.
Okay.
And I actually have a cloud guard.
I'm sorry, you said, I didn't hear the last thing you said.
I I do have witnesses that they saw that she's the one that hit me.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's important. All right. Now, her husband. Let's go back to what he was doing when he came there to the scene. Was he polite? Was he rude? How was he behaving?
Oh, he was really rude. That's the reason that I called 911, because I was concerned about my safety, especially when he was dressing as a cop and he wasn't driving an official vehicle. He was driving a pickup truck, a private vehicle.
What color was the vehicle? What brand, if you know, what model?
I think that was a Ford pickup truck. I think that was like a Ford Ranger. I'm not 100% sure, but that was a small pickup, and it was kind of like a brown color.
Okay, and that was his wife who had been in the accident with your car?
His wife is the one that had the accident with me, but she was driving in another vehicle. His wife was driving a sedan, a white sedan, which I do believe I got her license plate, but I'm not sure if I have it with me right now at this point.
That's okay. Let me ask you a different question. You said he was wearing a police uniform. He was driving a private vehicle, but he had a regular police uniform on when he got out of the car?
Yeah. When he put right next to me in his vehicle and started yelling and screaming, pull over, that's when I got concerned about my safety, and I called 911.
Oh, okay. And what is? Tell me describe the uniform he was wearing, if you can remember.
It was a blue uniform, a regular police uniform.
Mm-hmm.
And he got his badge and his badge on the uniform and the shirt.
Okay.
So when he started asking me for my driver license and my insurance, I told him that I didn't need to give any information to him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wasn't even in the scene and he wasn't even in an official vehicle. And I told that I'm already called 911, I'm calling the cops, and he claimed that he was a cop. And I said, well, I'm sorry. And then he asked me, are you an American citizen? Which to be honest, I felt that was totally wrong by his part.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very concerned about this because to me, that was a racist comment.
Yeah, I think it was inappropriate. Well, let me tell you now, based on what you've reported to me, you have at least 2, maybe 3 complaints. You have an unprofessional conduct complaint. You have a failure to properly report or write a report. Basically, the officers who showed up at the scene should have excluded him from the entire situation. They should not have been working with him on this or giving him any information if he wasn't directly involved. It should have been between you, the police, and his wife. And he shouldn't have gotten any sort of special privileges out of the situation. The last thing I want to tell you is that comment was very offensive. That was made questioning your citizenship. That's nobody's business, particularly if his wife was in an accident with you. That has nothing to do with the accident in terms of your status. So no one is asking him what his legal residency is, and no one should be asking you.
Yeah. Well, that's the reason that I called, and I was trying to get, somebody to help me out through the whole situation because I never had a problem before.
Okay.
But I just felt that was totally wrong the way that this police officer, especially being a police officer,
Mm-hmm.
the way he handled himself,
Mm-hmm.
chasing me down the streets because he was actually speeding pretty fast, and then just like I said, he was driving a non-official vehicle.
Well, if he was driving dangerously or recklessly, that is in fact another violation. So we can make charges for all 3. At this point, I have enough information to proceed with your complaint.